Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for another devotional. Today we are in 1 Timothy chapter 6. I'm going to read verses 17 down through 19. Paul's closing off the letter here. He says, "As for the rich in this present age," so people with cash, right? "Charge them not to be haughty, nor to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly provides us with everything to enjoy." So God has things that he wants us to enjoy. We can't forget that. "They are to do good, to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share, thus storing up treasure for themselves as a good foundation for the future, so that they may take hold of that which is truly life." So I'm going to be honest with you, I really feel like this little excerpt here feels like an add-on for Paul, like he's throwing in his last 10% at Timothy at the very close of this letter. Even so, I really think this excerpt has some excellent stuff in it. Paul here is addressing the issue of wealth one more time. And thus, we get a very good theology of wealth from this text. The first thing I notice here are four godly ways that a person of wealth uses their riches. Number one, they use it to do good, or they use their wealth to proportionally do more good in the world than those of us who don't have wealth. Number two, they use it to be rich in good works, or it's an opportunity to lead and to manage and to steward their wealth so that the world can see God through them. So they do it in a godly way. Number three, it's an opportunity to be generous, or we know this already, to give extravagantly without expecting anything in return, right? And number four, it's an opportunity for them to be ready to share, or always positioned with a plan to give their possessions away so their possessions don't possess them. And why should wealthy believers do these four things here? Well, because they know two things. First, that God is sure and wealth is not. And second, that there are only two types of investments: temporary ones and eternal ones, and one is far wiser, right? The eternal ones. But here's the deal. This theological exercise right here applies to lots of things. It's not only applicable to a wealthy man's treasure, but it's also applicable to our time and talents if we don't have that much treasure. So if you are rich in treasure today, the challenges for you are clear. Use your wealth in the four godly ways, because you know the two things that all believers need to know. God is certain, and investment in him is sure. But if you have a wealth of time and talents because you don't have a wealth of treasure, maybe you should consider addressing this too. Here are two questions that I think could help you a lot today. Number one, are you using your time and talents in the four ways Paul described for us above? I mean, actually, I think you should read over them again. Are you using your time and talents in the four ways Paul described here? If not, then make some needed adjustments. And number two, are you thinking about your time and talents in a godly way? If not, make the needed adjustments. That's all. Guys, I love you. Thanks for joining me. I pray this has blessed you. If it has, share it with someone else, and I'll see you back here again next time.